Hi there, you're on Gossip Says channel. Enjoy watching, subscribe and like it. It's growing our community. Story 1. My girlfriend forgot about me. Apparently she found a new boyfriend or is cheating on me with someone else. Hello. Before I get into this is my first ever relationship. I met her on Tinder when she wasn't looking for a boyfriend. We were both in the same city and hit it off pretty well. We never got to meet before I had to leave, however. Some weeks later, she fell for me and we eventually met up and went on an awesome date. I lost my virginity to her. It was the only day we could spend together, as she had a schedule with her friend. She had to fly back, and we've been talking for the past 3 weeks since. This month was a game changer for her. She's working 2 part-time jobs with 6-day weeks and around 10-hour shifts every day. She would never hesitate to speak to me any chance she got, whether it be in the morning, on break, or when she's going or at home. Sometimes she goes out with friends and I simply tell her to have a great time and I leave it at that, waiting for a typical "I'm home" reply. Well, one night she went out. I told her have fun. I checked in with her hours later with a "how's it going?" and then she said it's so fun. I give it until as late as possible, after the last train departs, because she'd have to be on her way home. Are you still out? Nothing. Many hours later, my phone died. I'm sorry. I say that there's no need to be sorry, and that she should cherish every moment of freedom and fun she has. You're so kind. I really wanted to talk to you. I really love you. The thing is, this situation was really unusual. She's never out this late and has never ignored me that long. Whatever. Next day, good morning, nothing all day. Next day, same thing. I start asking her what's wrong just to be left unread. Sometimes, not even unread. She has it set to not share online activity, so I trusted her. I caught her accepting new followers, so I gave her a call. It prompted to the online call, which she watched run out. Then I tried again and it prompted to an offline call. I'll talk to you later. I'm sorry. After finally getting her to acknowledge that I'm worried, I ask her if she's alright. What's wrong? What can I do for you? Nothing, be honest. What's wrong? I'm here for you. You can tell me anything. Is there a reason you haven't spoken to me? No, I'm just a little tired. That's all. Okay. If you need space, I can give you space. I love you. I'm really worried. No reply. Good morning. To tell the truth, I think I want some distance. I have nothing but gratitude for you, though time passes until she's ready to discuss. I'm not sure how to tell you my feelings. Somehow I'm really tired these days. I think I told you before. I'm really busy these days, so I didn't feel like contacting you so much. Somehow I've come to feel that you are too persistent and nagging. I told her she could have just said something and that I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Then I want to break up because I thought that you and I weren't compatible for some reason. Somehow I'm grateful for you because you taught me a lot of things. But I'm getting tired somehow. I've omitted my replies to keep this concise. But I said she should have said something sooner about us talking too much. She showed no signs prior. She would rather, however, keep distance rather than breaking up, after asking if that's truly what she wants, as long as it's okay with me. That catches, she already feels alone and she's doing the best for herself. She thinks that day by day, she's loving me less. She's not sure if she wants to be with someone else. She just wants to be alone for now. She's also occupied with personal problems she won't tell me about. She wants someone to be by her side during the hardest times, and that the clingy nature of texting doesn't suit her. I'm the only person she's actually ever started texting, let alone nearly all day every day. Long distance is too hard for her, even if I root for her. Now, for some background. It's been 2 months. I've gotten along with her so damn well. I've given the world in any possible way to her. We know so much about each other. She'd used to express her love so much to me, and I'd do the same to her. She'd told her friends about me. We'd exchange gifts. teach each other our languages, and do very sentimental things. We had a playlist, play video games together, etc. The day before this all started, we were discussing how we'd try phone calls for the first time, and how we're going to go to Disneyland, and how she'll show me around other cities. I was going to go see her myself in 3 weeks. She feared the future, though, never wanted to really talk about it. But I'm thinking that if DR doesn't work, what's she going to do when she has to move for work for a few months, knowing nobody but those on her phone? I told her I'd always be in her pocket during her hardest times. Doesn't cut it. She said she wanted to move to somewhere where she knew absolutely nobody and start over at one point. Does this make sense? TLDR. Our 2-month long-distance relationship was perfect until recently. Girlfriend has been working 10-hour shifts for 6 days a week this holiday season only, 2 part-time jobs. Girlfriend suddenly stopped reading my messages, sometimes left me on read. Took me a while to get her to talk. She wanted to hide the reason at first, blaming it on fatigue, but figured she wanted space after I offered it. After further discussion, said we should break up or remain together if it's okay with me, at a distance. She's going through personal problems she won't tell me about and needs someone by her side. An LDR isn't good enough, she thinks. She feels alone and she's doing good for herself. Please subscribe, leave comments, rate videos, and click the bell not to miss my videos. Story 2. Found out my best friend 25F has been using my pictures 26F to catfish a guy she's been talking to since 2015 March 2020. Man, I don't know where to go from here, so I thought I'd go to Reddit. My best friend, we'll call her Maggie, and I met our freshman year of college. We are now roommates and moved in together 2 years ago. In 2015, my best friend spent spring break a couple states away and matched with a guy on Tinder. When she came back to campus, she immediately told me about him and how amazing he was and how they only went out to dinner once. This was obviously a lie, but that they were talking 24/7. I got super excited and asked to see a pic. That was the only picture of him she's ever shown me. Over the past 5 years, he's literally been her whole world. She talks about him constantly. She always has her nose in her phone. She gets clingy when he takes too long to text back. She's cried to me a few times because she's lurked on his social media and seen he was around other girls. My roommate doesn't have social media herself. I had asked a few times why they have never met up again, and she said they're both too busy and don't have the money for the trip. I even told her that he could stay with us and that would save some money. He sent presents and even flowers on Valentine's Day every year. They've basically been dating this whole time. So yesterday my roommate picked up a shift at work and was gone. I get a knock on our door and I open it to a guy. He says hi and I give a confused hi. And then he barges in and scoops me up into a hug. He starts saying, "I thought you were working. I was hoping your roommate was here so I could surprise you when you got back, and I am so confused." I immediately get down and back away and let him know I have absolutely no clue what he's talking about. My brain can't even process what's happening. Then he looks confused and says, "Maggie," and I'm like, "No. That's my roommate. My roommate and I look nothing alike, so I'm even more confused." Then something kind of clicks and I think, oh my god, is this the guy she's been dating? So I say, "Wait, are you Adam?" And he gives me a very slow yes. And I get excited and say, "Oh my god, I bet Maggie is going to flip out. I can't believe you're here." His demeanor completely changes. He asks me what I'm talking about. I'm Maggie, and I tell him no, I'm Summer, Maggie's roommate. At this point, I'm still completely missing something he has just pieced together. He just says holy fuck and looks like he doesn't know what to say. Eventually, he asks if he can sit down. I invite him in. He then proceeds to tell me for the past 5 years, he's thought he's been talking to me. Every picture he's ever seen of Maggie has actually been pictures of me. I'm completely dumbfounded and we don't know what to say to each other at first. So he gets out his phone and shows me proof. He has tons of pictures of me saved on his phone and went to their messages and showed me proof that she's been sending them to him. I felt and still feel completely sick to my stomach. I get out my phone and show him real pictures of her. I tell him maybe they could just talk when she gets off of work. And he's really pissed at this point. I say maybe we should call her first and let her know he's here. So I do that and she starts flipping out, saying she's not coming home, tells him to leave and that she won't talk to him. He calls her and starts yelling at her over the phone. After everyone calms, she eventually comes home. He's hurt and accusing. She's crying. I'm sitting there awkwardly. She tells him that she's still the same person he's had feelings for, and he screams at her, "No, I thought I was in love with your roommate." And that completely makes her break down, so I tell him maybe he should leave for the night and everyone should have their own space. He agrees, and after he leaves, she goes completely psychotic on me and starts throwing shit around the living room. Tells me she hates me. I start crying. It's a mess. I left to stay with a friend and haven't been back, so I don't know what's gone down. I feel like I have no idea who the person I'm living with is, and I feel weirdly violated. Do I move out? Do I try to call her? She hasn't even texted me. I don't know how to deal with this situation. Update. Thank you guys for all of your advice and comments. Many saying you've been in mine or Adam's position. It's made me feel better. I'm gonna go ahead and just post an update, because I don't think there will be more of an outcome than this. I ended up having a phone call with Adam, mostly because I wanted to know about the pictures she sent. Turns out she sent pics of me in my underwear, and nudes that aren't actually of me or her, so we're assuming she got those from Google. He feels really bad and is actually having a hard time with all of this. I assured him I don't blame him at all for the underwear pics or anything like that. He ended up telling me that they actually have facetimed, but she would never show her face, only the top of her head hair, which is dyed a similar color to mine. Never thought anything of this. Now I think it might be really weird, and her excuse was she felt like she looked bad on video, was self-conscious, didn't have makeup on, etc. He said he didn't think it was weird. He also told me he's tried a ton of times to arrange visits to meet, and she's came up with excuses every time. Said that he's been mostly content to talk through text over the phone up until this point. Also said he's going to try to reach out to her one more time to talk about everything, but that he's moving on. As for me, I'm not sure I can break my lease yet, but I'm going to go ahead and move out and in with a friend until my lease is over. We briefly talked when I went to my apartment, and she sort of half apologized but is still pretty hostile and defensive. So I'm going to give her space. I feel bad for her, but I don't think our friendship is going to survive this whole thing. Anyway, this has been some crazy shit, and I appreciate all of the responses I got. Y'all are awesome. Please subscribe, leave comments, rate videos, and click the bell not to miss my videos. Story 2. Found out my best friend 25F has been using my pictures 26F to catfish a guy she's been talking to since 2015 March 2020. Man, I don't know where to go from here, so I thought I'd go to Reddit. My best friend, we'll call her Maggie, and I met our freshman year of college. We are now roommates and moved in together 2 years ago.